Thierry Henry, welcome.
Thank you.
It's a real pleasure to have a footballer of your credentials with us today. I don't think I'm over-egging it when I say one of the iconic players of our time. And watching that video, laying out your glittering career before you, how do you feel when you see that? I'm just reminded of a quote by a man that you know quite well, Arsene Wenger, who described you as the greatest striker ever, the Michael Jordan of football.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Humble.
That's a big one. Did he say I was a pain in the neck also in the quote? No, he didn't. But no, first and foremost, hi everyone, sorry. But when I look at this, nothing is impossible. That's what I think of. But nothing is impossible, obviously, because you have a group around you that makes it possible for you. That's what I think of. At the beginning of my career, you tend to think about the I in the process because you need to make your way in a group sometime that was already formed, and you need to have an impact. So, and to try to find out who you can be and what player you can be. And then at the end of the career and throughout the career, you start to understand that without your mates, you're no one. So when I look at this, although the pictures and they were my goals and stuff like that, but it reminds me of the whole process of it and how you can achieve stuff when everyone kind of trusts each other. And there's something that's not, it's almost kind of a thing that people do not do anymore, especially in a group. Being honest with each other it's very key. Having arguments also is very key. It's healthy as long as it is for the cause of the group, which means winning and getting trophies. So that's what I think of when I see that.
It's interesting. I've seen interviews with you before where you've said, if a player scores a goal for their team, but the team doesn't go on to win, those goals should be discounted?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So point?
It's nothing about personal success?
Well, it's something that you can share when you're done. I kind of bother my kids with that now, with the goals that I used to score and stuff like that. But I think for me, one of the most important things is, did it matter in the game? Did it matter in the game? Sorry, that's what you're there for. You're there to score goals and win the game. I wasn't interested at the end of the game of if we lost the game and I was going to say, at least, I scored 2. No, I scored 2. They need to mean something in the game. And if it didn't mean anything, then even when, fairness, I did score goals and we won, I wasn't always happy. Or shall I say satisfied. But yes, it's discounted. I went a bit too far, but it's an image that I always say that, and you scored 2, you lost 4-2. What's the big deal out of that?
Incredible.
Might sound harsh, sorry, but keep you on your toes.
You're clearly a perfectionist then.
Well, I think, I don't know if everyone is, but I always, I say that you showed something yesterday, that doesn't mean it's going to be the same on the day after. And so I always see it as it's a new race the day after. We're all on the same starting point. Let's see who's going to win that race again today. So I don't live in the past. Although you need the past to be present in the future, that's what I always say. But the present is actually the moment that we're living right now. So I was trying to live at that particular moment. And the only time you can go back and start to think about what you've done is when it's done. Now I can. That's what I said to you. I bother my kids with it. But at the time that you're active, you need to think about what's coming next.
So let's just take it back then to when you were a young child. Did you? As I understand it, you used to play in your cousin's bedroom with a tennis ball,
yes,
kicking the tennis ball around the bedroom when you were just 5, 6 years old. Did you ever envisage at that point Champions League winner, World Cup winner, European Championship winner, 5th on the all-time Premier League scoring list?
No.
Did you dream big?
You know what I was thinking at that particular moment? That we're going to be in trouble if my mom walks in or my auntie. That's the only thing I was thinking of. And we thought we were clever. We're smashing the ball against walls. And when they walk in, we're like, they heard us. But you think you're that clever when you're young. No, I didn't think about that. I never put myself in this type of situation. I always said to myself, the rest will take care of itself. Work hard, try to add tools, in your game, and whatever happens will happen. But you need to be that guy that's going to put something on the table for the coach to work with, and be, like I said before, that pain in the neck in a good way to challenge your coach, because that's what you're supposed to do also, cause him trouble in a good way, by the way. But I never thought I was going to do what I did, and I think it's good also, because you need to leave something, up in the air sometimes. You can't always guess what's going to happen. It might have been a dream. I must have said it sometimes with my friend, I'm scoring the last goal of the game, but a lot of people said that and it didn't happen for them. So, but what I wanted to do is to be prepared to be able to perform, and like I said, and I used to say, the rest will take care of itself.
So you mentioned there giving the coach something to work with. Now, one of the greatest coaches you've obviously ever worked with, Arsene Wenger, who you've described as a father figure.
Yes.
How much do you think your success is not down to him, but was nurtured by him and allowed you to realize your potential?
The boss, Arsene Wenger.
You still call him the boss?
Or anyone that I had as a boss, I call them boss. It's difficult for me to break that barrier. That will be the same way until I die. But that's only me. But the boss had an impact on me mentally. So he unlocked some doors that were locked for me, and showed me the way and made me understand the player that I could be. But then after, he gave you that freedom to be the player that you could be, but you have to embrace it, and grab it. Very important. And to an extent, I thought that I did that in a way, but he had that amazing way of talking his way out of the box, and it's well documented. I used to go in his office upset for whatever reason. I don't receive the ball in the right time, or why we're not playing like this or like that. And I remember going in his office. I'm going to tell him this, I'm going to tell him that, and I used to leave his office. I didn't tell him anything. And he told me what he wanted to tell me, and I closed the door. I'm like, hang on a minute. And I used to leave the room with a smile, not worrying about what I worried before, and being happy with what's coming next. He had that impact on people where I think at one point a boss also, people always talk about what's happening on the field, but a boss needs to have also the quality to get you mentally and unlock that and trigger your brain. It's very important, because you have a lot of coaches. I can tell you, I can make you stronger, I can make you bigger, might work on your work tactically, but not a lot of coaches can say, I'm gonna make you smarter. I'm gonna make sure that you're gonna use your brain on the field the right way. And he was one of those coaches.
Did he help you off the field as well, do you feel?
Yeah, big
How
time.
So?
We used to talk about anything and everything, and just him, his calmness. I mean, I don't know if you guys, a lot of people know him. I'm sure you must have seen him as a way to talk to you, to calm you down and tell you the right thing. Don't ask yourself the wrong question. That's also something that helped me a lot in the game. I used to try to put the fault on others before when I was a player, and I started to think, how can I move and help those guys in function of how they play? Instead of them adapting to me, I had to adapt my game to them. So that's why I was always saying to me, and that helped me a lot, ask yourself the right question. Can that guy see you? In my mind, he could, but technically maybe not in the way that I wanted to, so you have to make a run where that guy particularly can see you, and the other one make a different, because he can see you a different way. And you start to play in function of who you are, who you have around, and that's down to him. Again, he unlocked that door that I started to start to play with. That guy, I'm going to move like this. These guys, I need to drop because his head is never up. Whatever it was in my mind, I started to understand the movement I needed to make in function of who had the ball.
Incredible. You described yourself as a pain in the ass.
Yeah, neck, I said.
Neck. Sorry. Added some flavour to that, didn't I?
Not the same.
Sorry, we'll
place.
keep it PG. Sorry. You described yourself as a pain in the neck, and I know that when you were a player and you did interviews, you had a question that you didn't like, you would tell the journalist. Understandable. If a colleague on the pitch did something that you didn't like, you would have the confidence to tell them. Did that come from Arsene Wenger as well, or is that something that's always been within you? Have you always been quite a resolute character?
I understood early in my career that we're here for the cause. We're not here to be friends or go out or whatever it was or be nice. We're here to win. That's one of the most important things, and you need to do anything in order, because it's like if I see you and you're about to do something, and I was, by the way, expecting the same for me. I wanted you to tell me if I wasn't being all right on the day, or not putting 100% in the game, because that would have woke me up, and you need that at times. And so that's how I was. But it was always for the good of the game and for the team. So I was always saying what I had to say, and at times it's not always nice, because, as you can imagine, on the field you can't really be eloquent all the time and use nice words. Sometimes they're not that great, and the emotion that goes through your body doesn't come out well in what you want to say and how you say it and how you should say it. But you can't put any sugar on it or make it better than what it was. And so, yeah, I was very much in people's faces, in my own face also. I expected a lot from myself and a lot from my teammates, and they expected the same from me. That is why I did find myself in teams where we more often than not ended up winning something at the end of the season, because we had that all together within the dressing room.
Yeah, you won a fair few things, didn't you?
With the team, yes, it's very important. Like I said to you, you need to have guys around that gonna understand what you're all about, understand your brain, understand that sometimes you might lose it, but it's for the good of the team. And the guys that I played with understood that, and like I said to you, I understood them too.
Now, I do want to make this interactive, guys, so if you do have any questions, I will be looking out in the next couple of minutes. Thierry, who are some of the greatest players you played with? Oof. Dennis Bergkamp has to be one, doesn't he?
Well, I can name a lot, because I had the opportunity to play with a lot of great players, and Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, Xavi, Iniesta, Zidane.
When you're working with these greats, do you feel like you're learning still? They can show
I'm still
you
learning now. So, and I'm not. I wish I had my legs of a 20-year-old with my brain now. That's what we all hope and all.
I think we all wish that, don't we?
All want. Yeah, that's the thing. So you're still learning. I'm learning today. I will learn tomorrow. But I played with some guys that I will not even qualify as human in terms of, we're talking football, obviously, with all due respect, we're talking football, because Lionel Messi is not human for me. What he does is not normal, really not normal. I don't know if you guys are realizing what the guy is doing, but this is not normal what he's doing. And Zizou the same, Zizou, sorry, and the other guys. But when we go back to the normal people, human beings, Dennis Bergkamp is the best player that I played with. Why? Because of guys. What you didn't see is commitment every day in training, and his desire. When he was a great Dennis Bergkamp, he could have taken it easy sometime in training, and nothing was easy with Dennis. If he had to make a pass there, he was making that pass there. If he had to control left, pass right, 100 times, he was doing that 100 times, and he was always doing what the game was asking him to do when he can do something else. Play simple, that's one of the most difficult things, and great players do that. They stay simple when sometimes you might showboat or whatever. No, they stay simple, and Dennis had that in him, the way he was training. Also, he's the player that I played the longest with. But understand, then you have the freaks up there, but human beings, Dennis Bergkamp, yeah.
And now you're on the other side, I guess. You're working alongside the media as a pundit. How much attention did you pay to pundits if they had criticised you or made a comment about you? And do you now get in trouble for criticising players that perhaps you know and might actually be friends with?
When I was a player, I tend to, when stuff were outside of the game and it was a bit personal, I used to go talk about the game. You don't have to be go to the other side. And I think you have to understand that sometimes you're not playing well, or you did a mistake. It's when outside of the game and people were taking it on a personal point of view. I used to just settle it out with the person usually. I used to have that, like I said, I don't have something to say, I say to someone. Now on another side, it's kind of difficult because, for example, I look at the shirt there on the screen. Whenever I talk about Arsenal, whenever I just say something, it goes everywhere. It is where it is. They play well. I'm saying they're playing well. I hear it's biased because he's an Arsenal fan. When they don't play well, how dare you saying that about Arsenal? what shall I say? You know, it's difficult. You have to call ultimately what you see in the game and try to call the game out. I try to stay in the game and what happened in the game and not what's happening outside of the game. It's not an easy one because some of the guys that I played against, some of the guys that I played with still, a lot actually. But you have to call what you see. And it's not that easy. I will be honest, especially when it comes down to Arsenal for me. And even more so, especially because I had to talk about my old boss. Not a lot of people are pundits and they have to talk about their old boss. It's not an easy one, but I had to do it. I'm doing it, and it is what it is. But I'm enjoying it.
Any questions whilst you guys are thinking? You mentioned there, obviously talking about your old boss, and he's just stepped away from the game. Really emotional farewell. This weekend. What legacy does Arsene Wenger leave behind?
You can point a lot. You can point, obviously staying unbeaten, winning 7 FA Cups, which a record. People will maybe tell me that he didn't win enough titles. I don't see it like that. For me, it's what he did for the club, how the club changed, how he brought flair to the club, to a club that was winning also before. Don't get me wrong, with a good foundation of the back 4 or 5, shall I say, if not Martin Keown will get upset, and Dennis Bergkamp was already there, so he added flair to that. And the best thing for me is, when I used to walk in the street, and some guys used to stop me, and they were not even Arsenal fans. They were just like, we're enjoying the football that you're playing, and we're not even Arsenal fans. For me, that has no price because it did change the view of how Arsenal were perceived in the world, and that's down to him having that vision. He was a visionary man, and that's for me. That's the thing that's going to stay the most. How he changed the game. Also in England, when he brought, water on the.
Yeah,
I know it sounds simple. How they eat, how they prepare themselves, stretching. I know it sounds crazy now to say that in 2018, but when he brought it here, that wasn't the case in the game in England. But for me, it's people stopping and saying that the way we used to play. They were not even talking about what we won or not. That's for me the legacy that he left.
Sure, we have some questions. We'll start with over here, the lady over here. Sorry, yes. Gentlemen.
Was Erling from Oslo. Just wondering, what would be the best choice in terms of a new manager for Arsenal?
I've been asked that question yesterday. I actually don't know because everybody's talking about it right now. Someone will be right. I think the list is like 200 people on the list. But what will be very key, though, is to give that guy time. Because it's going to be very difficult to go after Arsene Wenger 22 years. When you used to hear the same voice for 22 years and the habit that he had and competing also, by the way, with the team that are already in the top 4, because Arsenal is not in the top 4 once again this year, unfortunately. But time will be key. After it's very difficult because I hear names, I don't, like I said to you again, whatever I say about Arsenal might end up in the paper tomorrow. So you have people there to try to find out who's going to be the man. But what I want to, as an Arsenal man, is that guy to come and at least have a bit of time to change everything there. That will be very key for me.
Just got a question. I'll go to the back first, and then we'll come to the front here. Yes, sir.
You absolutely have great achievements during your career. My question is related to one specific one. How did it feel to break the record of the legend Michel Platini?
Well, first and foremost, I always say that I did it in more games than him. So that's the respect I have for the man. He did it in way less games than me. So I had more opportunity to break it. But having saying that, it was great. It was great because I grew up watching Platini. As you can imagine, Euro 84, they won that in France. He scored in the final. Great player for Juve, amazing player for us. I watched 82, I watched 86, losing twice against West Germany at the time. So yeah, it was an inspiration for all of us. One of the first to go abroad and be successful with Juve. That day against Lithuania in Nantes, I will always remember that because being able to pass Platini is like, again, something that I never thought that I was going to do. So I felt, more than great. What a legend he was, or is, shall I say. Mm-hmm.
question at the back there.
Hi, Thierry, I was fortunate enough to see you score many goals at Highbury, so thank you for that. Two stick in my mind, one against Liverpool and one against Spurs. They were kind of similar in the sense that you ran almost the entire length of the pitch. And I'm just interested to know, as an athlete, what's going on in your mind at that point? Is it instinct? How conscious are you? You've got, 40, 50,000 people sort of screaming at you. What's going on in your head?
Do we have enough time for that? The thing is, listen, I explained that to a friend of mine not that long ago. Football is, when you play golf and the guys are about to play, they demand silence. Tennis, any sport like that, we have to perform and try to picture what's going to happen on the, you've been to a game. I'm not going to describe and say what people say at times, but you need to make sure that you block that. Okay, now you block that. Ball comes. Picture. What do you see? Boom. Can I execute it? Okay, let's see. Put your head down. If you go with the goal of Liverpool, I have Didier Aman in front of me. All I'm thinking is I need to pass him. But I can't push the ball too far, because if I push the ball too far, the guy behind will get it. But I need to push it far enough for him not to get it. While I'm at full speed, looking at what's happening, taking a second picture. Now I passed him. Boom, pose. What's happening? Picture. Now I'm like, because they know that I like to curve the ball from outside of the box, right? I'm going to give them that and see their reaction. But again, you're still full speed, putting the ball on your right, but head down here, but I'm looking at them. Oh, they took it. Picture. What do? Go back on my left. Now I go back inside. I have a pass. It's open. Let's go in. Do I have time to put it back on my right foot? Yes, I do. Put it back on my right. Keep your composure. Score. That's what happened in your head. No, but to be able, that's why I always say to people that that's why football is an art. People are clear to see that with golf, tennis, and the ball is here. The ball is in our feet. So to keep your balance while someone is pushing you, you're on one leg. You're on one leg trying to keep your balance, full speed, trying to see what's happening right in front of you. Most of the time it's a 360 movement that you need to have to see also if someone is moving. Diagonal ball from 60 yards, and imagine where the guy is going to be. You need to imagine where he needs to be. And the guy controls the ball in the air, jumping, ball is down. It's not easy. No, but I'm saying, obviously I'm going to be biased because it's my sport. I respect any sport, but a diagonal ball, 60 yards, in the path of a player, right above the head of the defender, and has to land just in the path of the guy behind, and he controls it in the air. You know how many people will fall straight away after that? Because it's not normal. Ball is there. You know, golf, you're standing on your, at least on your, I'm not saying it's easy, you're standing here. I'm not saying it's easy, understand me well. I'm not telling you to go at golf because I respect those guys a hell of a lot. Tennis the same. Rugby. When the ball is there, you ask, even some players that I know now, you ask them to go straight, full speed, they still go like this. With no opposition. Now bring opposition, pitch is wet, win. People barging you. You need to see people moving. You need to be good with it. You need to see everything. Stay calm. Pressure, press, whatever you have. People are screaming. You have that in a lot of games, don't get me wrong, but ball at your feet is a different skill. But to go back to your thing, that's what goes through my head. But what helps is when you can picture it before, and then ball comes, now you need to execute it. But you need to see it before. That's what goes through. What went through my head.
In the space of about 5 seconds. That's incredible. All that in that time you receive the ball, and it's in the back of the net.
No, you see, I always say that the best camera you have is your brain. That's the best camera. And what you do, you stick it in the back of your head, and when it becomes appropriate, your head will bring it back to you, because repetition becomes habit. So you, without even noticing it, your brain will bring it back, and you're like, I've seen that before, boom.
So that's taught rather than natural.
That's why repetition is key. because it becomes an habit and your body will do it naturally. But if you don't repeat it, it doesn't happen. If it's for the first time, that's the first time you arrive in that situation, people might panic, people might not panic. But if you repeat that situation, when you arrive in that situation, I've seen that before. I made a mistake before, I won't hear, whatever it is.
Very conscious of time. We've probably got time for one more question. This gentleman at the back.
Thanks. I'm Adrian Lovett. I'm the CEO of the World Wide Web Foundation. But for the purposes of this question, Thierry, I'm a Portsmouth fan. 2004, quarter-final of the FA Cup, I think, at the mighty Fratton Park. You were there. You beat us 5-1. And you and your team were so good. And as you know, Portsmouth fans, don't go down easy. They're a proud bunch, but they were singing your name for the last 25 minutes of the game. My two questions are, firstly, do you remember that day? And please say yes. And secondly, the Arsenal team then was so good. What is the difference, in your experience, between a great group of talented individuals working together, in sport or anything else, and a team that changes the world and changes the world around them?
Yes, I do remember. It's so easy to remember because that happened. I think we had a game also against Man City where that happened, and Man City back in the days, not the Man City now, but back in the days where I remember playing against you guys in that game in the Cup, and we were quick ahead in the game, and I think that the whole stadium was singing the whole length of the like the whole time, and I was like, are they aware that we're winning? Have a break? No, they sung the whole game. And so I just thought that it was class, right? And so at the end of the game, I think I clapped the Portsmouth fan, and they clapped me back. And at the end of the game, I was like, it was weird. We almost felt that we were playing at home because they started to sing names of players and stuff like that. And it was just great. I do remember that. And I remember also they were asking me to put the shirt on because I changed with a player and I put the shirt on, and they were happy with it. But fair play, because we were 5-1 up, passing the ball around, and you guys couldn't touch the ball. And no, I'm not. So I'm not saying it in that way. And those guys were singing the whole game. That was crazy. And to go back to your point, that's exactly what I said before. You need to have that edge. Sometimes you might go to a fight. I'm not saying it's right. But it's like a family. It's like a family. You don't always have moments with your family where everything is nice. Maybe you guys, but not mine. And you always have a guy that you need to bring back in from time to time, but keep the core and be honest with each other. And sometimes truth hurts. Then you need to have a certain quality, but at the top, sometimes teams have almost the same quality. Is when you have that togetherness, that understanding, talking to each other, being honest, and being at it every day, and not take anything for granted. Then you can achieve a lot of things. Because at one point, if you look at the top 4 teams or 3 or whatever, the quality is always not that much of a difference. But what makes it different on the year is when you have that. And as long as you keep it, then the more important it's going to be for your club or your team.
Just very conscious, probably gone over time, probably about to get kicked off the stage. So I think everyone can join me in thanking Thierry Henry. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.